Oh,
Good morning, Andy.
There we go.
yeah, good morning.
It was doing weird shit to me. I don't, it looks like it's okay now. Every time I went in, I had to poke something.
Huh,
I'm there now.
yeah. Well, I told Gary I had two other Zoom meetings today. One of
I
them
heard
was
that.
fine. The other one, a couple of the people had problem logging in. So hopefully people won't have, I got, emails from Andy Hawkins, said
That'd
he's
be
going to join. And I sent him a step-by-step list of what'll happen when he clicks on the link and what to do. There were several other people that sent a note. Butch Churchill, I don't think is going to join because he sent me a thing. He wanted me to ask a question. And if anybody knew where a certain person was, a Larry Quon. Hey, Sam,
How are you doing?
how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Looking
doing
good.
all right.
Looking good.
You or me?
You.
Oh, good.
That's funny.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Where do we find you now?
I'm in Connecticut.
You're up in Connecticut?
It's basketball season, Gary. So
Oh,
I was on a roll until last weekend. Now they've lost 2 in a row. So I don't know.
well, yeah.
Who are you following, Sam?
UConn.
Oh, okay.
The male, the female.
Actually,
The
both
girls-
of them. They're both good.
Yeah.
The men were good up until last weekend.
Were they number one,
Oh no, they were number 2.
number two?
They might have been in the power rankings at one point, but in the AP poll they were number 2. But they'll drop significantly now. They've lost 2 in a row. But I saw Rutgers not number 1 off there the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a
miracles.
good one.
I went to school in Cheshire, Connecticut.
Yeah.
You know where that is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I lived there for 4 years.
I keep wondering why you went to such a good prep school and ended up at Hiram Scott, Andy.
But we're glad you did.
I cannot say the reason.
Okay, I know why some of those other guys ended up there, but
No, there were other schools. There's Choate, I'm sure you heard of them, and
sure.
there's a bunch of good schools, and I didn't qualify for it. I really didn't do. I think it was my parents who were just needed to get me out of the house. I mean,
Okay. All right.
No, my grandmother was afraid for my life because my father he didn't brutalize us, but he would be arrested today for some of the shit.
Oh, I'd be arrested today with my kids too. So
Yeah,
no big deal.
So my grandmother said, well, we'll just get him out of here. And so that's where I was in Cheshire, Connecticut.
Okay. It's a good school. Still is.
It is a good school, and I had some great memories there.
What was the name of the academy?
Cheshire Academy.
Yeah, I believe they played my grandson's football team.
Yeah, well, when I went there, we were the headmaster, they used to call them masters, was an older man. I think when he retired, he was in his late 80s, and they convinced him that football was the thing that made the school, the best in the world. And we had postgraduates there, people who would graduate from high school, couldn't get into Yale or any of the schools they wanted to go to. So Cheshire would take them in, make sure they got good grades for 2 years. And we had several pro basketball players and football players come out of Cheshire Academy because of that. And we were ranked. There's a school called Manlius up in Syracuse. They were the same type of school, and we would get national rankings.
Well, the HUD school where Zach went the past 3 years beat Cheshire. Well, they beat everybody. They went undefeated the last 2 years. The first year they lost 1 game.
Wow.
They had a couple of post grads and so forth, and they had their entire line and backfield all went to Power 5 colleges on scholarships.
Sure.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's not aware of the agony of defeat, is he?
Oh, yeah. I heard, by the way, you're talking about that, the young man who was hurt, injured at the Bills today, apparently he's woken up and he's in great shape.
Yeah, he's still on a ventilator.
Yeah, but they say he was talking
Yeah,
and you know, you have minimal, well, they got working on him in 1 minute.
yeah,
They were out on the field. I was listening to the news tonight. So
Yeah.
but they say they're not gonna replay the game, but start the game. I don't know how they're gonna handle it with the standings. A lot
yeah,
of money, there's a lot of money involved there.
yeah. Yeah,
Because the Steelers will be playing this weekend. They're hinging on the fact either I think it was the Bills had to win and somebody else have to win for them to even have a shot at it.
yeah. Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of money involved in that.
There's a lot of money.
Ever since, well, I really get upset when I see some of the calls that are being made on the field and say, okay, how much does gambling have to do with it? Because
You're right.
when you play with the devil, you're gonna get burnt.
Yeah,
And you know, you just see some of these calls and they say, we missed them. Yeah.
But I think, Gary, don't you think that they're looking at every call, regardless of what they say? New York is watching every single thing that they're doing. And I mean, I saw a call the other day in that game, actually, and they, no, it wasn't that game. I don't remember what it was, but nobody said anything. And then finally the refs came over and said, well, we changed our mind.
Mhm.
well, here comes Mr. LaBella.
Where's Pete LaBella?
He's coming in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Says-
I see his
But
name
no,
there.
it's really a shame.
Yeah, I'm here, so nothing important. I just figured I'd check with you, see, you know, what you were going and what. But, you know.
Hi, Peter. We can hear you, Peter.
Another time, but we'll keep in touch.
Take care.
Oh, Peter.
Hi, Pete.
Morris, how are you? Hey, as long as I got you guys on the video, I have my paddles here. You know,
Wow.
I can't find mine.
there's one here, it says to Pete from Gary. Is this Gary Jones?
Yeah.
That was the only Gary I remember there.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Gary.
You're more than welcome.
But you know,
You didn't use it enough.
I put that in the top of my closet.
I got all three of them downstairs.
Yeah, I have three of them, and it said from the pledge class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the other one was from Mike Sedlak, I think. He was my pledge master.
yeah,
Mike Sedlak? Wow,
Yeah.
that's going back.
yeah. Well, speaking of that's going back, something I've got that if anybody wants a copy of it, I'll send it to them. I came across, I thought it was long gone, but I came across this thing. You probably can't read it where you are.
Oh, I can
There
read
we
it.
can.
This
Yeah.
is the original, Hiram Scott charter class of Tau Kappa Epsilon, 1966, and it lists all the members, officers, and the first pledge class.
Then I should be there.
So what I
I could be
did
there, right?
is
No, you weren't doing special
8.5
ed.
by 11, so it can actually be legible. So if anybody wants a copy of this, I'll email it to you.
Yeah, I'd love a copy.
All right?
Sure, send me one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
I'll,
take two, Morris.
pardon?
I'll take one too. Thank you.
Okay.
Just take pictures of them and send them.
Yeah, if you want one of the frameable colors, or something, let me know you want a hard copy and I'll just mail it to you. Otherwise, I'll just email it to you and you can look at it and you can print it on whatever you want.
Okay, great.
All right,
That'd be great.
but have
Thank you, Morris.
any of you guys heard or know somebody by the name of Larry Konleski? Winston
Is that-
Churchill asked me.
That isn't Snuffy. Oh, no, Larry was Larry Smith.
Yeah, I don't think this guy was even in Teak.
I
So-
don't recognize the name.
I don't reckon.
Yeah,
I was out of
Ringing
there in
bells here.
'68.
Yeah, because I also had somebody ask me if Bruce Beats was in the fraternity. And I didn't know he was. I correspond with him once in a while from Hiram Scott. But so I went through all the yearbooks and I found him in '68 and '69, but not associated with the fraternity.
What was his name?
Beitz.
Bets.
Oh,
Yeah.
Betts. I knew him.
Yeah, but
Wasn't he a wrestler?
probably he looks like he probably was.
Yeah, a little guy, about 5'6", about
Yeah.
my size, you know.
Yeah.
I'm shrinking below that now.
We all are.
Yeah, Betts, I knew Betts.
Yeah,
I forgot his name was Larry.
yeah. And the other thing Butch asked me to said, does anybody remember what band played for the 1968 homecoming?
Oh, God.
Year and who would the Queen was?
I
In
think Sam would
68?
know.
Yeah, 1968.
Is that the year we had a float? We had a float that year.
Yeah,
I
a
took a
float.
picture of that. And it got on a postcard,
I have no idea.
but you don't have one of those. We had a
You got
postcard with
pictures,
our,
Andy. You got
Hmm?
pictures of that, though, don't you?
yeah, I have a photo of it.
Yeah,
I
because I
could
remember
probably,
you
I
Oh.
sent me one a couple years ago.
Get in the yearbook. But no, there's no chance of me remembering that.
No chance of me remembering that.
Me either.
I spoke to Herzog, tried to get him to get on the call, but
No luck.
he doesn't want to.
Yeah, Pete, I was telling him that Andy Hawkins contacted me and wanted to know how to get on, the thing. And so I sent him a step-by-step instruction of how to join us. But it looks
might
like,
not help. You might have to head to South Dakota to help him.
yeah, yeah.
I
No, I
just-
sent him a step-by-step instruction.
Yeah.
Do this, click on this. When it says this, click on this.
Well, if I
So-
can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
I want you to know, Herzog and I and Hawkins, and who else was there? We went to a Northwestern football game, and Hawkins was picked us up at the airport. And he wasn't used to driving with real cars on the road because he lives in South Dakota.
Yeah.
It was an experience. I want you to know, it was an experience because I thought we were gonna die. Oh, Sokola. I had Sokola with me. Yeah. I
John
thought we
Sokola.
were dead a couple of times.
Yeah.
It was rather funny.
So let me read you this list of original brothers and see if you remember everybody. I didn't remember everybody. Sam Barry, of course, Carbon DeSinqua, Dan Field, I faintly remember.
Dan
Yeah,
Field.
vaguely.
Yeah. These were the original brothers, 66, not Pledge. Curtis Folks, Les
Oh, I
Free.
remember Curtis. He was one of the few people of color.
Yep. He's from Rome, New York.
Yep.
And Andy
Nice
Hawkins, Paul Hazel,
Oh, God.
Richard Hurst,
Yep.
Oh,
Ron
He's from
Herzog.
New York.
This
I
one
knew
I don't
he
know.
was-
Tom Matthews. I don't remember him.
which
Who was his
one?
name? What's
Tom
the name?
Matthews.
No, I don't remember him.
No,
Then officers were myself, Gary, Bob Burrell, John Hitchman, Parker, Bob Luft, Severio, and Dave O'Leary. And then additional members were John Piper, Ron
Mhm.
Chernicki, Mike Sedlak, Steve
Yeah.
Shapiro, Dale Schenk, Bob Stebbins, Jimmy Sullivan, Dale Tamburini. This person I don't remember, Mike Verive, Verive,
I don't know him.
Rich
Never mind.
Walker, and John Yost. And then the first pledge class was Jim Curley. Now, he was a guy that was about 6'10", something that way, and everybody called him Tree.
Yes.
yeah,
Herb Bigden, LD Palmer,
yeah,
Jack Dolly,
Yeah,
His nickname, unfortunately, was Dum Dum. Because he was always doing something, getting his hand stuck in something or something. John Iden, Eiden. I didn't know him.
no,
Remembering Ron Hammond, Dan
Oh, no,
Schultz,
no.
John McMahon, and Paul Shelton was the first pledge class.
Paul was part of the first show. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Anybody ever hear from him?
who?
Paul Shelton.
No. You know, I've looked for him several times and but I was never able to find him or find anybody that had talked to him.
I know he was out in St. Louis or out in the Midwest somewhere, and
Well, he was from Chicago, I think.
yeah.
From
and
Indiana. No, he's from Indianapolis.
He ended up being
Indianapolis.
the
Yeah, he was from Indiana,
superintendent of schools, I think. He did all right. He was just a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we used to go out to the lake and imbibe a little bit and lay in the sun. And I don't remember who it was, but Paul was there. And one of the guys, you know, saw him putting suntan lotion on. And he
That's
asked
funny.
him, what the hell are you putting suntan lotion on? So Paul took off his ring to show him that actually he could get a tan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It shows you how little we knew about people of color.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was just a good person.
he was. He was.
I
That
hope he still is.
he had a little MG midget
Yep.
Yep.
car.
Yep.
And he loaned it one time to a guy named Bill Loeb or Bill
Oh,
Loeb,
yeah.
who was the head resident of the North or the West Dorm. And Bill was about my size plus 75 pounds, maybe a little taller. And he just destroyed the car. He could barely fit in it, and it just couldn't carry that kind of weight because he was well over 300 pounds. And it burned the engine out, and he had to put a new engine in for Paul.
I can remember Bolo. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice
I
guy.
don't remember him at all, Gary.
Hey,
Yeah.
going back, you asked the crowning of a queen,
Yeah,
the crowning of Miss Harmscott 67-68 took place at the spring dance featuring the Billy May Orchestra. Queen candidates were left to right: Cindy Smith, Susan McBride, Carol Kulick, Marcy Booth, and Brenda Alfond.
You
I
know,
know her.
I always thought.
I know her.
I thought I was in the first summer pledge class. When I first got out there, I always thought that was the first pledge class, but obviously it wasn't.
It's
No.
number 2.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
I love
sure
being number
that beat.
2.
But it didn't say which girl won.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether any of you guys know this or not, a little bit of trivia. Rosemarie, and I'm not sure whether it was 68 or 67, but the college was still trying to recruit heavily and get people from Nebraska and every place else. And Nebraska every year had a Miss Nebraska Land contest. And so somebody in Scottsbluff and Harmscott pulled the strings, and Rosemarie was selected to represent Western Nebraska in the Miss Nebraska Land contest. And they gave
She's
her
a resident.
a Western outfit and took her to Lincoln and all kinds of stuff. But I
Who's
just thought it
this
was funny.
pretty young lady?
Somebody from New Jersey representing, competing in the Miss Nebraska Land.
Probably still is.
Yeah, yeah,
Who is that?
that's her. That's
Nice.
Rosemarie. That is Rosemarie. Yep.
One beautiful young lady.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but what you saw in you, Morris, is on me.
It was all over. Like, you know, what the hell am I doing?
Oh, God. Was she from Scottsbluff?
No, she was from New Jersey.
She was,
Oh, that's how you ended up in New Jersey.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
she graduated 2 years before I did, And she had a job. So when I graduated, I said, let's see, she can come out here where neither one of us have a job, or I can go out there where at least she's got a job. And so I
Wow.
packed everything in my car and moved to Jersey.
That was probably a good decision, Morris, on your part.
Yeah,
I
it
think
turned
so,
out to
too.
be a good decision. Turned out to be a good decision.
Yeah, she lived up in Bricktown, is it?
Oh, Jamesburg.
Jamesburg,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is right near Trenton.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
over by English Town, Monroe
Yeah.
Township in central Jersey. And so forth. When her father had never been out there when they sent her out there to school. And when she graduated, he came out and for her graduation and one of her sisters. And she introduced him to me. And at that point, he knew that we were serious and engaged. And one of his first comments to me was, you know, back east, people from the West aren't quite socially acceptable. And so I said, I understand completely. I said, a lot of people from the West out here consider Easterners to be rude and arrogant and quite frankly, not very smart.
You were probably right.
That started us off. But you know, once we got married, he never gave me any trouble again.
Now,
Hi, Dave.
very
Dave.
nice.
Yeah,
How are you?
I had kind of a relapse, medically wise.
Okay.
And, I just got back from physical therapy, so I'm gonna stay with you for a while, but I'm
Okay.
gonna cut off
Yeah.
when I need to
Well,
get to bed.
I'm
Hello,
recording.
Hey, David.
I'll put it up on YouTube and send everybody a note. And
Hang in there, Dave. Hang in there.
Sam Blades,
Yeah, Dave, how you doing?
yeah, do you remember the trip that you and I took across country? And
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I was going through some stuff the other day and I saw the picture of your Corvette. You didn't
Oh,
let me
God.
drive, though.
Yes, I did. You drove part of the time.
No. Here, well, I have a different recollection of that.
I dropped you off. I dropped you off to University of Maryland,
Yeah,
and then you came down to Ocean City the next week.
yeah, you weren't too happy to see us at that restaurant. I could tell on your face, but oh well, those were the days. We had some good times.
Long time ago, my man.
We
A long time.
we all had some good days out there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Gary, do you remember one time when we came back on vacation? We had my father's car and we came back and we went down to Ocean City to Barry's place. And we went over to Wildwood to a place called Tony Mart.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bar that had like 3 bands going at the same time.
yeah,
You know, it was huge.
yeah.
There was Bay Shores and there was Tony Mart's.
Yeah.
Tony Mart's was actually in, it was right across the river from Ocean City, right
Yeah.
across the bay.
Yeah.
And Barry and I used to go there. It used to be open till 3 o'clock in the morning. And Barry and I would go over to Bay Shores and spend a couple hours. And as the sun came up, would head back to his house down the shore.
Yeah.
They're not there anymore, either of them.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're
Now it gets around
Ever-
10 o'clock and it's past my bedtime.
Yeah.
We're cleaning out some storage areas, and I ran across a box of pictures of the teats and things of that nature. How do I get those to you? Just send them to you, or
Yeah.
how do you?
If you send me the pictures themselves, I'll digitize them and share them with everybody
Okay,
and then send you back your photos.
yeah, okay. Will you be kind enough
Yeah,
to email your address so I can send it to you?
will do.
Okay.
Will do.
I'm sorry to take up your time. I got to go.
Not a problem. Good to see you,
Have a-
Dave.
have a
Take
good
care of
day.
yourself, Dave.
Take
Thanks.
care of yourself.
All right, bye.
All right.
Take care.
Take
Be
care.
well.
you know, Sav, last time I was down at Sav's house, I don't know, 3 months ago, he got out, he must have had 3 or 4, you know, albums like that. But all the pictures were glued in,
You talking about Sam?
so he couldn't get them out.
Sav.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think he's busy. He's got a new girlfriend and
Oh my,
yeah.
Oh, you're
that's
talking about,
news.
you're talking about Sav Grimaldi,
Yes, yes.
not Sam.
No,
Mhm. Yeah, I get it.
Hey,
I-
Sam,
I-
when do
Go
you
ahead.
come back down this way?
actually, I'm coming down Saturday. Just probably for the weekend to check on the house.
No, okay.
I haven't been down there since October, so I don't like being away that long.
Yeah.
Where's your house, Sam?
I'm sorry.
Where's your house in New Jersey?
We have a place in Lavalette, which is across the river. You have heard Tom's River.
Yeah, yeah, of
Across
course.
the river, Tom's River, just north of Seaside,
Yeah,
south of Point Pleasant.
nice area.
Very nice, very nice. I don't know how I ever found a place.
If you get down and you have some time and space, you know, give me a holler and I'll buy you lunch.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
I'm gonna have, Sam, I'm gonna have to drive up to your place. We're gonna have to ride over on a bike on the over the bridge.
Tappansy?
Yeah,
Sure.
I've always wanted to do that.
Well,
Sure.
that'd be quite a ride from Sam's place to the Tappan Zee.
Yeah, it's a couple hours.
Didn't they change the name of that? They changed the name of that?
Yeah, the governor, it's now the Governor Mario Cuomo Bridge, but it'll always be the tap to everybody else, so.
Well, you know, the tap has always been what would I say? It's always been a political bridge because they built it outside the city.
Yeah.
Moses built it outside the city so he could raise all the money to build the turnpike. I don't know if you know that.
Well, I can tell you one thing, they did a darn good job on that bridge, that the new one's very nice.
No, I've driven over it a number of times on my
Oh, you
way to
have?
Boston.
Okay,
When we go to Boston, I drive over it.
okay.
My wife's family is from Boston, and sometimes we go up to Cape Cod.
Weren't you thinking about moving to Cape Cod at one point? Or am I
Yeah,
dreaming?
yeah, but I bought a place in Delaware instead.
So you like Delaware better than Cape?
Yeah, well, it's a lot less expensive on one level, and I love the water there a little better. It's a little warmer.
It's actually beach in Delaware. I never could get the beach in Massachusetts. It's all rocky, you know, I never liked it that much.
Hey,
Yeah,
Pete,
I'm in the beaches in Delaware, and you know, I'm on a place in Fenwick where there's 3 miles of national seashore and no building. Outside of my condo, I can walk the miles and just enjoy the beach and not see people.
I read an interesting article the other day about colleges,
Uh-huh.
about how colleges are starting to really compete now for students because that now there's more college spaces than students to fill the classrooms. And I was
course.
thinking back to Hiram Scott. Hiram Scott came about because there were more students than there were seats in colleges, you know. So it's almost gone to full 360, you know.
yeah. Of course, there was a little thing called Vietnam War that was filling up the colleges.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
The
know
draft.
that was all, but there's also the baby boomers were just starting to go to college too back then. So
Yeah, I got the letter from the government and I had to go down for my physical, and that scared the living shit out of me. And that's when I decided I was going to school.
Yeah. You remember Jimmy Sullivan?
yes,
Oh,
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, Jimmy was my roommate, and I remember he got his draft notice, and he had to go to Lincoln. Now, Jimmy was, you know, 5 foot and you know, very large.
250
Very big
pounds.
boy, very big boy.
And
Little overweight.
he went there, and he went to Denver for his physical, and they just looked at him and said, "Okay, you're done." And he was really, when he came back, he was really upset. He said, "I know I wouldn't have passed it, but at least they could have put me through all the process. And, yeah,
Oh, God.
his parents used to own an Italian grocery. And they would send him a box, and I was the only person that he would share, stuff with. And they would send him like, 10 pieces, 10 salami, 20 pieces of pepperoni, some huge things of cheese and so forth. And
You were trying to get him to bulk up a little?
yeah, I guess. I ran into him. I think I told you that.
No.
Yes.
Up in New York.
Yeah, I had an office in New York and was going in, and one day noticed a guy that looked familiar and walked over to him and said, "Jimmy, is that you?" And he said, "Morris." He knew who it was. And he was a guard in the building in
Was he still
80 Maiden Lane.
Was he
Really?
still as big as he was before? Or had he lost weight?
No, he hadn't lost any weight. He looked the same. I mean, because I recognized him, and that had to be after Hiram Scott, probably 10 years, after Hiram Scott that I bumped
Wow.
into.
What did he graduate?
Who, Jimmy?
Yeah, Jim.
He didn't.
Not
He
Hiram
didn't
Scott.
graduate. He stayed there. He was there the first year and maybe part of the second year, and then he left and went back home.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember
I
Jim
didn't
Villano,
know that.
Morris?
Remember? Yeah.
Jim Villano, do you remember him?
Yeah,
yeah.
I was about to ask that. It was.
Yeah, he lived in
Esposito
North,
Milano.
he lived in North Jersey.
Yep.
Maybe he was after you.
Yeah.
We contacted him, Villano and Esposito.
Yeah. Well, Esposito became a parole officer. He married a girlfriend named Ronnie from Nebraska. And they moved back there, and he was a parole officer and heavily involved with, had 3 kids and heavily involved with them, and unfortunately died very young, had a heart attack.
Oh, that's too bad.
Tucker didn't Tucker pass away? He was a parole officer in Lincoln, moved to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hmm.
Remember Dave? You remember Dave Tucker?
No,
What's his name, Sandy?
Yeah. Um,
no. But yeah,
Now, I remember Villano, well, he was part of the bowling team, and he
Yeah.
was pretty good and a nice guy.
he,
Weren't
Peter,
they
you
from
got-
Patterson, New Jersey?
he was from up North Jersey. He got married, moved in with his wife, and they didn't have any furniture in the house, and they went out and bought a pool table. Swear to God.
Hey, priority.
They needed a
Priorities.
dining room table, they bought a pool table.
his wife's name was Nelda. But a few years after Hiram Scott had closed, maybe 3-4 years, I was back in Scotts Bluff after it had closed. And you remember Terrytown?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Between,
Sure.
there was that, bar there, bar restaurant. Well, Jimmy had become manager of that bar.
Wow.
Jim Villano,
Yep,
he was from Patterson, New Jersey.
yeah, yeah. And then somebody told me that he moved back to New Jersey, but I've not had any contact.
A lot of guys came out of New Jersey and New York to Hiram.
Well, they recruited rather heavily.
No doubt,
Well,
no doubt.
So the answer to the question of
Oh, yeah.
what did most kids come from? The answer is New York or Pennsylvania and New Jersey were tied
Okay.
as far as the fraternity is concerned, of the number of people that went out. They each sent about 8 people. And then I don't have it in front of me, but there were a smattering of another 3 or 4 states that they came from: New York and Indiana,
Illinois.
South Carolina.
Hmm.
That was Dave O'Leary.
Yeah, poor Dave. I was supposed to go see him when I was up at Cape Cod. Next thing I know, he unfortunately had a heart attack and
Yeah.
passed away.
Where do you go on Cape Cod?
Oh,
Pete?
God.
I was in Falmouth at the time. he was all the way around the other side of Falmouth, on the other side of the Hook, which would have been about 80 miles. So
Uh-huh.
I was talking to him about it, and I should have gone, and I didn't go, and I feel a little regret about that.
Yeah, I do, when I was growing up, my relatives founded Chatham.
My friend.
Huh?
Fran just came in.
Hey, listen, guys, I have one thing to say to you.
Yeah,
You ready?
No,
Sir, I am but a lowly Riney, not worthy of the esteemed privilege now offered me, namely that of carrying one of my greatest and all-knowing active brother's books. But I here wish to offer my lowly assistance to such a task above my standing that I may feel privileged to carry your noble books, sir.
where did you find that, Fran?
How about
never-
that? You thought I had it, Alzheimer's disease.
I never made you do that. I never made you do that, Fran.
Is that from memory, Fran, or is that you got that written down somewhere?
No, that's from memory.
Wow.
It's empowered right into my brain.
I'm
What's
impressed.
your memory?
yeah,
Wow,
it probably got seared in there.
that's impressive.
I'm impressed.
Very impressive.
How are you guys doing?
Doing good. How about you?
You're all right.
I'm surviving. I'm hanging in there. Still
Are you
going.
keeping the governor in straight there in Nebraska still?
No,
Or do I-
I'm not in Nebraska. I'm in PA.
Well, I definitely got the wrong person. I'm sorry.
What part of Pennsylvania are you in?
Oh, okay.
Wilkes-Barre.
Fran, you're in Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah, just right outside, about 4 miles outside of Wilkes-Barre itself.
Ah, yeah, I'm down in Harrisburg.
Oh, all right. You're down there with Governor what's his face?
Yeah. All the politicians and every piece of shit out there. Yeah.
So you hanging around Harrisburg this winter, Pete? Or
You know, I have this winter, I'm trying to extricate myself from my business, and Sam, you have something covering your camera.
oh, probably my finger.
Oh, yeah, well, that'll do it. Yeah, I have been, and I'm trying to make arrangements to head for Florida. My wife wanted me to rent the place for 6 months, and I just wasn't able mentally to deal with it.
How about anybody else got any plans for the winter? Gary?
I'm gonna be right here in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
You know, I lived in Cherry Hill for a while. Right
Yeah,
near Cross Bridge Road or something like that?
Clements Bridge Road,
Cross Bridge.
Ross.
Yeah, it was right off Route 70, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm right off of Route 70. You remember where Ponzio's Diner is?
Oh, of course. I used to have breakfast there with the women that used to wear sweatsuits that never perspired.
I'm a half mile from there towards Haddonfield.
I used to stop there and have coffee and whatever, and then head into Philadelphia. I had an office in Philadelphia,
Sure,
down on Walnut Street.
I've been in this house for about 48 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not going anywhere.
I keep thinking about going somewhere, and I never do it.
Well, that's a lot of work.
Delaware.
What, to go somewhere?
No, I said you went to Delaware.
Well, I have a condo there, yeah, I do. But I go there for the summer for a month or two, and then I come home. How many places do you want to own?
Depends on how much money you got,
I'll tell
how
you,
much you want to travel.
Money is not my problem. I've been very blessed,
Yeah,
very blessed. I'm heading for Europe though, and I'm heading for Belgium and Holland in April, and then Italy in September with the kids.
good. Sounds like a nice trip.
Well, you know, in order to get, I don't know about other people, but in order to get the kids, I have to create the trip and pay for it.
Yeah,
Of course. Of course.
yeah, we just took kids on a cruise for a week down to, Bermuda. Or the
Nice.
Bahamas. And that's.
Down the triangle
same
or
thing.
what?
You get them all together and
Yeah, I had him here for Christmas. I had everyone here except my oldest son. He's a ski instructor in Big Sky up in Montana.
Hmm.
One day he'll get a real job.
Sounds like a pretty good life to me.
He's living the life. I mean,
Hey, I still don't know what I
Okay,
want to do when I
I'm
grow up.
happy for him. He found the life he loves.
Good. That's very important.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you someplace exciting that I'm going because this is going to
Where you
outdo
going?
all of you. Okay.
Where you
In
headed?
March,
Yeah.
I've got everybody's got a bucket list that they want to do before they die, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
checking off the final thing on my bucket list in March. I am going to Tulsa, Oklahoma,
That's a nice.
because
That's
because I've never been to Oklahoma, so that's the last state of the 50 states that I haven't been to. So in March, I'm actually going to Oklahoma.
What are you gonna do in Oklahoma?
How
I'm
did
sorry?
you miss that?
What are you gonna do in Oklahoma?
Well, actually, my hero, Bob Dylan, the Bob Dylan Museum's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm going to visit that.
Bob Dylan Museum?
Bob Dylan, yes.
Is in Oklahoma?
No, his museum is in Oklahoma.
I
He just
can't
opened a
believe
museum.
that.
They just opened a museum. It's been within the past year that it was open. So,
Yeah, I mean, he grew up what, Minnesota?
in Minnesota, yeah,
And then he moved to New York.
New York, right.
Because I as a kid, I saw him in Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
Okay.
That's when he was Bobby Schwartzkopf.
Now,
he became
Bobby
Bob
Zimmerman.
Dylan.
Bobby Zimmerman.
Bobby Zimmerman, I knew.
Yeah.
It was a good Jewish name. but
There
it
you
wasn't
go.
Bob Dylan.
There you go.
I
Hey,
didn't,
can I add on to that a little bit?
yeah,
Sure.
of course.
I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma with my father back in 1971. And I stayed at a gentleman's name is Albert Exendine. He held all the records before Jim Thorpe and was Jim Thorpe's coach.
Okay.
And I stayed overnight there with him in his house.
Wow.
And he had he was the honorary chief of the Cherokee tribe. He came out in a full Indian headdress, went around the room about a half a time only. He says, that's enough of that shit. And he says, and then he brought out a peace pipe that was 150 years old that my father took his cigarette tobacco put in, and we smoked the peace pipe that was 150 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
Neat.
How
Wow.
could-
Well,
Sam,
the
how
only
could
state
you-
I've never been in is Maine. I've been in every other state in the US.
I've been in
I've
Maine.
never been to Maine.
You should take the time and go.
Oklahoma.
Oh, Maine's a great place.
Beautiful state.
Yeah, well, I always consider Oklahoma a great place to go through.
I've never been in Oklahoma. Yeah. Yeah.
Never had a reason to go there.
No, I have no reason to go there.
Hey,
Absolutely
hey,
right.
Morris,
But
Yeah.
Morris,
I've been in
your
Maine. I've
dad,
been-
your dad and I stayed in a place called Hsc, Kansas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they had cockroaches about 2 inches long
No doubt it.
Florida, like Florida.
one night when we were. when we
Palmetto
were doing
bugs.
stuff. Oh, my God.
When they stayed there, the population increased by about 30%.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ooh,
Hoxley was a small town.
yes, it was. And the thing was, we didn't get there till like 5:30, and
Mm.
at 6 o'clock, all the stores closed up, all the restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
What state was that? What was it? What state was that in, Gary?
Kansas,
Oh, Kansas. Okay.
Hsc, Kansas.
Couple years ago, I was on my quest to hit all the states. I hit I went to North Dakota, and we stayed in the county seat. I can't remember the town even, but it was like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people. There was one place to stay, and it was deer season, and the place was full with deer hunters. So
Yeah.
There's so many places in America I have not been. I've
Not
never
here.
been to Las Vegas.
What?
never.
Never.
I go to Las
Wow.
Vegas all the time. Of course, it's
Yeah.
only a few hours. Yeah, I've been to every state at least twice, including
I have.
Hawaii and Alaska. Yeah, I don't know why, but I used to do a lot.
Have you hit all the baseball stadiums too, Andy?
No, I only
did a
been to a
bunch, though.
I've only been to a handful, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay,
I was at Fenway a couple of years ago.
okay.
Got to take the tour of the Great Tour. It was, we were on a ship cruise going up to Canada. And we stopped off in Boston on the way up. And they took us around and they said, well, anybody want to go to Fenway Park? I said, "Shit, yeah, absolutely." So it was a very interesting place.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to go.
I was
Actually-
in Fenway Park in the right field seats, and I think a drunk must have designed that stadium. Because the right field seats are pointed to the left field wall. You know, I
You're
just
right.
never
You're absolutely
figured it
right.
out. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, what they think you wanted to watch the left field wall, not home plate?
Now, who plays at Fenway? Was it the Sox?
Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Boston Red
Boston.
Sox.
I've always wanted to go to LA, to the LA Dodgers in Chavez Ravine and where the San Francisco Giants play, whatever they call the park now. But I haven't gone there. Got to get out there. I'm running out of time though.
Yeah, you are. We all are, Peter.
In probably about 92 or 93, somewhere in there. I went out, I was commuting from Jersey to Chicago. I'd go out on Monday and come home on Friday.
Wow.
And there was a guy from Generali Insurance Company, which was the largest insurance company in Italy. And he came over and we were working on some reinsurance deals with him. And we took him to a Cubs game. And after about the third inning, he looked over at us. There was about 5 of us. And this guy, the president of Generali, he looked over at us and he said, "Why doesn't anybody watch the game?" He said, "They don't pay attention to what's going on. Once in a while, they'll stand up and holler and sit down and then ignore it again." And we left after about the 5th inning. He just couldn't see the point in it.
Well, baseball can be a little slow.
A little. God.
I took my foreign exchange student from Germany to a giant football game in the Meadowlands. And he looked at me one time and said, "Why are they just standing around? You know, in soccer, you're always moving.
Yeah.
In American football, you know, with advertisements and TV timeouts and huddles, they're always standing." He couldn't understand that one.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's because when they're standing, they're making money because there's a commercial going on somewhere.
A commercial, that's for sure.
yeah. That's why I never watch a game real time. I always watch it an hour delayed so I can get through the ads and all the bull nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'm still a Giant fan.
Good for
Still,
you.
Sorry to hear about that.
Well, you live in New Jersey. Were
Yeah.
you an Eagle fan?
He's an
Hey,
Eagles
hey.
fan.
Tell me why the Giants, New York Giants,
Well,
play
hey,
their games
were
in
the
New
Jersey
Jersey.
Giants living from New York?
They get confused. They go,
it's simple. They said, these guys
You
are
know, when I
dumb.
was a
They call them
kid-
whatever they want, but we get all the money.
When I was a kid, we used to go to Yankee Stadium to watch the Giants. You know, I'd take the subway with a sleeping bag at 7:30 in the morning and stand up and and get tickets for the bleachers and try to get in there fast so we could sit on the 38-yard line. And if you got in there fast, you got to the 38, otherwise you were all the way down. And then the Giants moved to New Jersey. That was a shame.
No, what do they play the Meadowlands?
Yeah,
yes.
they
Okay.
should kill that stadium and rebuild a new one, maybe in the down in Manhattan somewhere. I don't know.
Where do the Jets play then?
The
The
same place.
Oh, they play the Meadowlands too?
Yeah, they both play.
Same
They
stadium.
both play there.
It's like
New York
the
Jets and New York Giants play in New Jersey.
Right.
Oh,
and the Chargers,
You root for that.
the Chargers and the San Diego,
Rams.
oh, and what's that other team that plays in California? They both play in the new SoFi Stadium. I haven't been there. I've had friends, they said it's the most incredible place.
Yeah,
Right?
it looked beautiful.
Yep.
The place I'd love to go see is Minnesota Stadium. And that's all indoor. But it looks, with all the glass, it looks like you're outside, but I guess in Minnesota, in the middle of the winter, it's a little chilly.
You don't want to be outside.
Right. But my son told me up in Montana the other day, they closed down the ski resort. It was 47 below zero.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hey, I was in Scottsbluff when it was minus 21.
Well,
Yeah,
out-
and
out in
Corbin
Utah-
told me the chairlift is heated and they have like a plastic cover. He said, but your feet still get cold. I
Hmm.
guess with 47 below, everything should get cold.
What
Oh,
city,
yeah.
Peter, what city is he in?
In
Pardon me?
'62, I lived in Idaho Falls and was a junior in high school. And one winter there, wind chill, it got down to something like 50 below. I had an old 52 Chevy 6-cylinder and kept it on a heater. And so I didn't go to school that day and I went around jump starting people's cars for $2.
Right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's too cold for me.
well,
I remember Scotts Bluff got cold.
well, I can remember like in 67, 66,
Mm-hmm.
in Scotts Bluff, it went
Oh,
down
cold.
below zero
Yep.
and stayed there
Yes, it did.
All
We said-
for like a month or a month and a half.
We stood in
Mhm.
front of the bowling alley. We stood in front of the bowling alley. We looked at the bank clock all the way down at the other end of town.
Yeah,
And we took water and put it in a styrofoam cup and threw it up in the air and it turned into ice. No,
Yeah.
immediately. It was minus 21 degrees. I'll never forget it as long as I put my nose together and wouldn't go to that and Peter going with Peter up to Mount Rushmore. Remember the day I got my tongue stuck on the on the
did you do that?
I put my tongue on, there's a commercial out now on TV. I got my
Yeah.
tongue stuck on the binoculars.
Oh, Jesus.
Remember that, Peter? Remember that time?
Yeah, we do. You guys remember the sandstorms in the fall when they took the crops up?
Oh, yeah.
I can remember when they had a tornado come right down. It went right over the dormitory and came down again and just kept on tearing everything else apart.
I can't say I remember that, but I remember the sandstorms and when that wind blew and the crops were gone and you couldn't even be outside easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember guys from Skinner Hall would stand outside and they'd see tornadoes heading towards them and they'd just stand there and watch it.
Yep. I picked up my buddy.
Item.
That's your good buddy.
Yeah, he's a
How old
good,
is he?
10 years old, just turned 10. He's been a medical miracle.
Medical miracle.
Yeah, we've had a number of challenges with him and pulled him through. I do love him. It's
Good.
been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm done with animals.
Gets me to walk in the winter when I'm outside.
Yeah.
When I wouldn't go outside normally.
Hmm.
Hey, Andy. Andy,
Yes.
your name came up this year at Christmas time here. My wife
God.
was making chocolate chip cookies, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember or not, I got a shipment of chocolate chip cookies in the mail. And I was at class. And when I came back, all the chocolate chip cookies were eaten by one young Andrew. And he had the audacity of big balls to sit there and say, "Can I have the crumbs?"
I was the crumb.
You ate all the cookies, Panda.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that. But
I
I'm
love-
better now, guys. I've been since September, about five to six times a week. I go to the gym. I'm on the treadmill and the bike for about 40 minutes. And I've lost not a lot of weight for some reason. I know what reason, but I've totally different person. Don't, my knees don't hurt when I get out of the chair. I don't have problems picking up stuff on the floor the way I used to. My house here has about 10 of these little fuckers here. You've seen these guys here? All over the place,
Oh, yeah.
because when I dropped something, I had a disc in my back, my lower back. Not right now, I'm having trouble feeling the pain because there isn't any. But it took me from September to now, and I go pretty much almost every day.
Good. Well,
Very
Gary
good.
goes to the gym every day.
Yeah,
I
I
go
do.
I go
I
to
go 5
LA
days a week.
Fitness.
I go 5
Fitness.
days a week.
I got to.
Me too.
Makes a big difference. I'm working on the weight.
I work on the bike either 20 or 30 minutes. Then I walk for about 25 minutes. And then I do some light weights. And I do that as a routine.
Well, you
And then
look
I
like
do
you're in
some
great,
stretching.
you look like you're in great shape.
Well, I've lost about 20 pounds, so, I
Mhm.
feel better being diabetic. You gotta keep it down the best
Well,
you
I
can.
know you were diabetic.
Yeah, I got that. I wasn't out of school. My brother got it, and then a couple years later, I got it, and we were in our 50s, I
Mhm.
guess,
Is that type 1 or type 2?
type 2.
I
And my
am
A1C,
I
if you
am
know
too.
what that is,
I am also.
my A1C stays around 6.3.
Jesus Christ. I haven't seen that ever. I had
What's your,
6.1 when I had 6.1. Doctor says, "You're cured." Went back and went up to 7.
yeah, I've been in the mid 7s before. And then when I lost 19 pounds, it just started dropping.
Yeah,
That's what
sure.
you need to do.
What's that?
You need to lose the weight. That's my cardiologist told me. I can do everything in the world for you, medicine, everything. You don't lose the weight, you're not gonna be satisfied.
Yeah.
You know,
I put weight on doing the. I
I have
put,
more. I have
Go
more
ahead.
chins than a Chinese phone book.
You ought to paint it.
Yeah. But no, it is what it is, and your body really wants to be at a certain weight.
Yeah.
It's always a struggle to try to outmaneuver it.
Yeah, I know I can't eat
Overweight,
3
but,
meals a day anymore. I
I
just
lost
can't.
40 pounds when I had my knee replaced, but I gained it all back. And the only thing I've got going on is I've got the aorta valve is getting calcified. And the cardiologist tells me in about probably 5 years that is going to have to replace it. But other than that, I'm fine.
And at that point, the insurance company would say, "You're too old. It's not worth it. You're only going to live for a couple more years. Suffer."
No, actually, it's a good deal
That's-
because if you're below 80, they have to do an open chest surgery to do it. If you're over 80, they do a process where they go through your femoral artery and go up and replace it. And he said it's much simpler, much less complications, but they won't pay for it unless you're over 80.
Well, we're getting closer. All of us.
Yep.
I got 2 years, year and a half.
God. Hoover, you're the youngest one here, right?
Yeah, I'll be 74.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just
wow,
turned-
you're the
Oh,
kid.
you're a baby.
yeah, I
Here's the
I
kid.
turned 74 in June.
Oh, what
Amazing
baby.
kid.
I'm what they call one of them little snot-nosed kids.
Yeah.
Well, how old are you?
I'm
Mark?
76. I'll be 77 in May.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
77.
78.
I'll be 78 in April. So
I'm glad
I'm
you're
old.
older than me, Sam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you're older than I.
I'm wiser too, Pete.
How old are you, Mark? Mark? How old are you?
Me, I'm
Yeah.
76. I'll be 77 next August.
Yeah, I'll be 79 in September.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Never thought.
Well,
I'd
I think we're all pretty good for our
arrive at
age.
this late age.
Never thought I'd live to see this day.
Neither did
Can you
I.
remember? Can you remember when you were in your 20s and you thought 40 was really old?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah. But
Then you got to 30 and you said, holy shit, I'm 30.
Yeah.
Well, we never had a male in our family live past about 72. But
Wow.
then, you know, they were all heavy smokers and, you know, this, that, and the other thing, and they just didn't live as long.
You know, I mean, medical care has really helped us all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look back when we went to college. Every one of us, I think every one of us were smokers
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was
back
a-
then. Okay. And, you know, now it's not really good for you. Of course, you probably knew it wasn't good for you then, but you didn't really think it was ever going to happen to you.
Yeah. I quit smoking when I was 33. And
Yeah, I stopped when I was like 38.
I was having some really bad sessions with coughing stuff up every morning, et cetera, et cetera. Decided I'm not going to make, 50 if I don't take care
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
And I just stopped, never had a desire for a cigarette.
Yep.
no, I, at one time, I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Ashtray 'em.
Wow.
Ashtray 'em. Smoke 'em. Old stogies. Yeah, Italian stogies.
Mhm.
I loved them. If I could get them into my lungs, that's what I did. And I, like you, Morris, I was throwing up blood and phlegm, like your worst chest cold you could ever dream of. I had that every day.
Well, when we were young, it was so promoted. On television, they smoked. I mean, I remember Humphrey Bogart with cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody smoked.
Everybody smoked.
Yep.
My mother smoked Camels. My father smoked Marlboro.
Yeah, my mother smoked Chesterfield.
My mom smoked Pall Mall non-filters, just the red one.
That's
Yeah.
And
right.
I smoked Winston in 1976. I was in a bar in Long Island. I was living out in Long Island. And I kept looking at the package and I had changed brands about 4 or 5 times. And I saw a hustler at a friend's house, of course it was my house. And the back of the magazine had a pink lung and a black lung. And it said, this is the black lung, this is the smoker, this is the not smoker. And I kept going into my head and cigarettes were getting expensive at 39 cents a pack.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm in the bar, and it was actually the same bar I met Joe Namath in. And I just took it, I crushed him, and I threw it on the floor, and I walked out. Never had a cigarette since.
Now, I used to smoke every other cigarette when I wanted to quit. And finally, I got down there, I was smoking 2 cigarettes a day.
Good
I
for you.
said, they need me more than I need them. So I stopped smoking for 5 years. And a guy at the reserves, Army Reserves, offered me a cigar for his daughter's birth. Next day I'm out 1.5 packs, and then I'm throwing up blood and phlegm again. And my wife says, we had a daughter, it was about 6 months old. She said, why don't you just quit? I took them out of my pocket, throw them up. That was 44 years ago.
Good for
And I
you.
threw them in the counter and never touched them.
Well, I think quitting's really easy because I've done it so many times,
Yeah, it's not the quitting, it's the stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Pete, when we were in school, didn't you smoke Camels?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unfiltered Camels. I remember you smoked. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I smoked.
Yeah.
I
I
was
used to
proud.
smoke Marlboro.
We used to call them humps.
Yeah.
But in the military, I could get a carton of cigarettes for $2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
aren't they like $7 or $8 a pack now?
Yeah,
Oh,
Or
more than
not.
that, probably.
In New York City, that's like over $10 a pack.
that's like
Carton of
$80.
cigarettes is like $70, $80.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Which one of you remembered when they had Luckies for a
Oh, I-
quarter,
Oh,
a
Lucky
pack?
Strike?
Oh,
And they
yeah.
put-
My father
And they
smoked.
put
I used to steal them from him.
I
Yeah,
don't
but they
listen
put,
to that
they put
stuff,
2
man.
cents in it. In the pack, it was only 23 cents.
I don't
Lucky
listen to that.
Strike means fine tobacco.
Yep. LSMFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I do
Or as
remember, though,
Red Fox said, LSMFT, loose straps mean floppy tits.
What I do remember is gasoline down in Nebraska at 15 cents a gallon.
Wow. I don't remember that, but
Yeah,
that's great.
I worked at the gas station.
And they washed your windshield too, when you came in and gave you a glass.
I worked part-time at the gas station on the corner of, I don't know, what was the name of the street that went up to the college? Anyway, there was an Exxon station. I worked there part-time to make some extra money, to keep the 396, gas, and was a 39.9. And there was a week or two, we had a competitor across the street. There was a liquor store across the street, and then on the other side, there was a competitor selling gas, and they decided to have a gas war. And he went down to 10 cents a gallon, and we went down to 11 cents a gallon.
Holy Christ.
Yeah,
Wow.
Remember that.
no,
Yep. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
What year was
And-
that?
It was probably 67, I think.
Yeah,
67.
67.
1867.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1967.
11 cents a gallon.
11 cents. We only lasted about a week or two.
Yeah, I
And-
remember. What I remember is 15 cents.
Yeah,
Yeah, you remember that white Ford I had, that 60
Yep.
Galaxy? That thing, in order to get money and gas, I'd let if somebody needed to run to town and use it, you can take it, put $2 worth of gas in.
Mhm.
That's the way I got my gas all the time.
Andy used to charge us 25 cents to drive down to the bowling alley.
Yeah,
I did. That's bullshit. You prove it.
Yeah, 25 cents a gallon. And when you get 3 guys in the car, you could buy a couple of gallons of gas, for 75 cents.
Yeah, but Peter, the minimum wage is $1, a dollar and a quarter or less. It's all different. Now kids working at McDonald's are getting almost $20 an hour.
Times have changed.
Hmm.
It was
not
enough.
all- Not all for the better.
No, it's gotten so good for me. They keep charging so much that I haven't been to a fast food store in 4 months. I've been to a pancake house or something like that, but I haven't bought a hamburger or anything. I eat those Sargento things. They're really good. And I eat for lunch, and then I go to the gym, and I come back and eat my Sargento and have dinner, which I'm gonna have here in about 10 minutes.
So are you still working, Andy?
Yeah, I'm still selling real estate. I'm
Okay.
not actively chasing people anymore. I
Okay.
have a client base, and if they want to use me, fine. If not, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of people who are on the verge. My license is up in June, and I have to take some courses and go through some bullshit to get my license. And if they don't decide they're gonna move before then, I'm gonna give up my license. Had it for over 20 years. So.
Yeah. Peter, you fully retired now, or are you still working?
No, I'm working at it. I'm trying to get fired.
Well, you were doing that the last time.
I know. I haven't succeeded, but I am turning in my papers to fully retire in June.
Okay. So
But
do you go in an office every day, or?
No, I show up at around 9:30, 3.5 days a week. and
Okay.
I'm usually out of the office by 3:30, and they pay me a lot of money to do nothing.
Okay. Hey, whatever works.
And if I stayed home too long, she'd divorce me, and I'd lose a lot of money.
Yeah, the real test of the marriage comes when you're fully retired,
Yeah, what happened?
You're around each other 24/7,
Yeah.
Then you find out you may not like each other.
That's correct.
And she hasn't thrown you out yet, Sam?
I'm sorry?
She hasn't thrown you out?
No, that when it comes to that, I just go down to Jersey.
Oh, I like that.
Me and the dog go to Jersey.
You and the dog in New Jersey, I like that.
So Sam, when you going down to Florida?
Me? Actually, my son lives in Tampa. One of my sons lives in Tampa, and I'm going down the end of February for a week or two. I could never stay down there long. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's when I'm going down to Florida, at the end of February. I just can't
I could not live there. permanently.
I couldn't go down to Florida and live.
Yeah. Great place to visit, but I don't want to stay there anymore.
Why don't you like it?
Me? Well,
Yeah.
it's just in the summer it gets so damn hot, and I actually lived in Orlando for 10 years, and it was pretty nice then. But you go back there now, and it's like bumper to bumper traffic. You know, any place you go, it's a pain in the ass. So I just too many people, too many old people.
Oh, too many like us.
Yeah. No, we're not old. They are.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but the winters haven't been, they don't seem to bother me like they used to.
See, that's like going down to the shore now. It's so mobbed,
Yeah.
it's so crowded.
You're talking about New Jersey.
I did, yeah, in Jersey. I have
Delaware
no
isn't.
desire to have a house down there.
That's why that's why I bought my place in Delaware.
Okay,
Besides the fact that we don't have real estate tax, where New Jersey has a lot of real estate tax, and we have
Yeah.
no sales tax. So Delaware was a lot cheaper and it's a lot less crowded.
Yep.
That's why I went down there.
Everybody
Yeah.
out here goes to the Colorado River over by Laughlin, Nevada, and Bullhead City, Arizona, and we have a house basically in Bullhead City, and we get on the river. We have a very nice boat, jet boat. We go down to a place called Pirate Cove, and on the weekends, especially the holiday weekends, you go down the river and you turn right and you go into this cove, and it's probably about maybe a mile long, maybe not even that long, and they have restaurants in there, and people line literally boat to boat to boat, all from the morning early to at night, and we put our boat there, and then usually some asshole comes up with his boat, parks next to me, and puts some fucking Mexican music on, and it ruins the whole day. And you're getting thinking, turn this thing down. We have the right to be here like you do. Well, anyway, so Pirate Cove, we go every once in a while. We sometimes have to move around.
Hey, are you getting any of the rains and all they're talking about in California?
Oh yeah, we had some rain today, which is very unusual here, and we got 4.41 inches. So we had just like
Oh, good.
not even a half an inch, but LA had some pretty heavy duty snow there, rain and snow also, but they're predicting some more next week, and we haven't had.
You guys just go from one extreme to the next. It's either a drought or
Yep.
or you're being flooded and having mudslides.
Yeah, well, this is really it's semi-tropical. We have two seasons. We have summer and the rainy season.
Yeah.
Summer and the rainy season.
No. I was in Santa Barbara for my sister's 80th birthday. It was cold as shit. Oh, man. I got out there and it was cold. And I didn't have the right clothing.
Well, you can,
They don't call that country shaking big country for nothing.
Santa Barbara's pretty far north, Peter. So it's
I know.
you're starting to get up towards the Bay Area, but not quite. I mean, it's certainly.
It's 5 hours from San Francisco. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, it's 2.5 hours from here, or at least three from. And I just live.
No.
I just live.
I've driven to LAX, from LAX into Santa Barbara, an hour and a half.
Yeah, but I live an hour and 45 minutes from LAX.
Well, you live out in the desert.
Yeah, I live basically in the desert. There's no question about it.
I
Yeah,
know there's a lot of rain right now down in from San Francisco all the way down the coast.
We had some major storms this weekend. It's not
About
over
five.
yet. This
You haven't
week.
had rain in 15 years.
Well, pretty much. It's been about 5 years since we had a real big one. And
Yeah.
so we need it now. The snowpacks, they measure by the snowpack. They go up to Mammoth, in the area around Mammoth, and where they go out with a pole and they put it in the ground and they measure the water content of the snow, and they measure the deepness of the snow, and make a prediction as to whether we're going to be drinking water or soda or something. Because it's getting it had gotten to the point last year they were charging people we're going like every other day, you could put your sprinklers on and just crazy.
Do you have a lawn, Andy? Do
I'm sorry?
you have a lawn?
Yeah, we have a lawn in the back of our house, and in front of our house, we have rocks. In the community I live in, it's built in 1962, most of it, 62 to 65. And we have, homes were made by Del Webb. And it's a community, we have 47, how many, Lori? 4,700 homes approximately. Yeah, 4,700 homes, and it's speed limit's 25 and nobody does it. And but most people have rocks. Some people have rocks in the front of their house. And I'm talking about real nice rock, that's crushed rock or whatever. In the back, we put a beautiful lawn in. And well, I have a gardener, I can't handle it, so he takes care of it.
Yeah. We put rocks around the sides of the house and in the back. And it was such a pain in the butt of keeping grass out of it and leaves and other junk. We took it all out and put in crushed clamshells. And that's been absolutely great because it's so thick and, compacts so well that nothing gets down in there, and just take a blower and, blow everything off once in a while.
We have big trouble with gophers. I live on the golf course. Literally, the golf course is right there, right in front of me here. And we abut the golf course. In fact, the drainage, this side of the course goes past my house. And every time it rains like it did today, we have a river, literally a river. You could float, you float a canoe down it until the rain goes away. And but we don't put rock in the back. Some people do rock in the front, rock in the back. But I think next year, because of the drought situation, we're probably going to take some of our water, put our water out and take some of our grass. We have some really nice grass.
No, we just have pure grass, and I love to get out there cutting it, just the exercise. I like to keep it going. Edge
I
the
should do that
property.
Should do that too.
My wife likes to garden, flower gardens, and she even cuts. The thing is when I was working and she was teaching school, she'd come home on a Friday, cut the grass so I didn't have to do it on
What a gem.
Saturday or Sunday.
I hope you appreciated that.
Oh, I loved it.
I bet you did.
Yeah, I felt so bad though.
You got over
I
it.
bet all the way to the chair watching TV.
No, I'd be out there. I'd be out there doing other work. I love to be outside doing it.
Yeah,
You work
we
in
hired a
Philadelphia?
gardener. I do not have a green thumb.
Sam, did you work in Philly?
What's that?
Did you work in Philadelphia?
No, I did at one time after I got out of Hiram Scott, I worked for Gerard Bank for 8 years. Then all my jobs that I had were, it was Rollins Truck Leasing,
Okay.
a big leasing company. I worked in the corporate offices in Wilmington, Delaware. I worked in Trenton. I worked just generally in New Jersey.
Oh, well, Wilmington isn't that far from you either, really.
No, it takes me like 40 minutes to get down to my office when I was going there.
Hey, friend, did you like working outside?
Yeah, I
No,
did-
Fran Hoover worked. How many years did you work on the construction on the highway?
55.
You worked on construction on a highway?
Oh yeah.
I still work in construction on the highway.
What did you do?
I'm a heavy equipment operator.
What do you operate?
D9s.
You name it, dozers, loaders, backhoes, shovels.
How the hell
Wow.
how did you get
Right
into
now,
that?
I'm into paving. I've been paving the last couple of years. So that's not a very good job. It's a good job, but not a very good job because all you get is heat. I'm listening to you guys complain about heat. Blacktop comes out at 315 degrees, and you're right there
On an August afternoon, huh?
with no place to hide like a desert.
Well, Well, how did that happen? How did you get into that?
Well, I'll try to make the story short. I had an offer I had a biology degree. I had an offer for microbiologist in the Norristown State Hospital. But the price back then to start was $11,500 and some dollars. And it's too expensive to live down around Germantown and them places. So in the meantime, I got married. On my honeymoon, luckily I knocked up my wife. Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So being the gentleman that I am, you have to support your family.
Of course.
And it just, the longer it went, the deeper you got into it. So, you know what I'm saying?
No
And,
pun intended.
Yeah, I get it.
Are you an independent contractor with your own equipment and?
no. I work now for a pretty big company. It's called American Asphalt. It's
Okay.
we do the turnpike. You know, we go all the way down. We do 84 down, that comes all the way down to you guys. We do 81, 84, 80.
Sure.
Yep.
Huh.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
where, on Route 1 and 285 and so forth, they just were awarded about a $2 or $3 billion contract to tear it up and fix it.
Well, like I said, it's a little work.
Yeah.
Work now for me is not work. It's more routine, if you want to say. So
Whatever works for you.
But
Pardon?
isn't it fun operating that bulldozer, Fran?
fun. Oh yeah, it's great. You guys are talking about aches and pains. Kiss my dupa. I'll show you aches and pains.
It just looks like fun.
Yeah, but you have air conditioning now in there. You have air conditioning and radio and everything.
There's actually a entertainment park right outside of Philadelphia that has machines that you can go and operate.
It's Digger.
Yeah, Digger. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Diggerland.
Yeah, Diggerland. I think I took my grandson there a couple years ago.
They wouldn't let you in one, would they?
Yeah,
Sam?
but they actually do let you
Yeah,
drive some of the equipment.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, like I said, it's a living. I made my living at it. Like I said, I don't have to do it anymore, but I still do it for escape purposes, and that's
Okay.
that's the honest to God truth.
Whatever works.
Yep.
Whatever works.
If you enjoy it or you want to do it, do it.
That's my feeling. I mean, I've been talking about retiring for 25 years and I still haven't figured out why I don't, but I keep going.
You know, I retired from Continental when I was 56. And then, had my web development company. And then I retired from that 20 years later. And then, or actually I had it before then, probably another 10 years later. I had the company 20 years when I sold it. And now I'm in 3 different committees, architectural review, and different things, web development, and it just moved from one thing to another.
Yep.
I got out at 64 and a half.
Good for you.
And I said, thank you, my back wasn't going to hold up. Time to get out.
I beat all of you.
Huh?
I beat all of you. I left at 55.
What the hell did you leave? You've been hanging around for 20 some odd years?
Yeah,
He's read a hell of a lot of books.
yeah.
Really?
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Same old Sam,
Thank God my wife did well.
Thank God, man. You married well.
Well, it didn't work out. It didn't start out that way, but it ended that way. So, hey,
Hey, congratulations to you.
whatever works.
Yes, whatever works.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to go. It's only 6:30 here and my dinner is on the table. And
All right.
I have Dunlap's disease. I have to make sure that that I get that food in there, so my belly doesn't lapse over my belt.
We
So-
understand.
Well, don't get flooded out, Andy.
No, I think we're good till next Tuesday, and then it's expecting another fairly good size 2-3 days, but
In a couple of months, you have to start worrying about forest fires.
Oh, God. Fortunately, we don't live near a forest anymore.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
They
Okay.
don't
You
have
know.
trees there, Sam. They don't have trees.
No,
What's
we don't have,
the you're talking about?
we have palm trees, that's about it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay.
You live out in the desert, don't you, Panda?
Yeah, we're actually not, I mean, we're only about 45 minutes from Palm Springs or.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I
okay.
mean, and that's hot. They get, LA is like 90 degrees, Palm Springs is 110.
Yeah,
I'm
Palm
not
Springs has got all of those wind turbines.
Yeah, actually, just before there, as you get towards Indio, right off the freeway, and you go out there and they're chugging away. You know, sometimes it's really windy. None of them are moving. I understand it. And then sometimes it's really calm, and they're all going. But it's really interesting to drive past them because when you get next to them, you're a little tiny pea car. Those things stand up, like 100 feet easy.
Yeah.
They're really big, and they have different kinds of 2-blade and 3-blade, 4-blade. I've never seen a 4, but I've seen 3 blades, and they it's right on the freeway. Then why not use them? Why not use the wind?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go.
Okay,
It's
guys,
good,
take care of
good
yourself.
talking to you. Let me know when you have the next one, and we'll.
Yeah,
join
it'll
you
be
then.
the first
Okay,
Thursday
take care,
of the
Andy.
month.
All right, sir.
Andy, take care of yourself, buddy.
All right, thank you,
Take care.
guys.
My
Be
big
safe,
brother.
Andy.
Hey,
All
my
right.
big brother, take care of yourself.
I'm gonna really push Herzog to get on next time.
Hey, yeah, Pete, call
Okay.
Sokola and give him a hard time.
I will.
Yeah, give him a hard time. Bye-bye, guys.
I speak to John quite a bit. And I speak to Ron. He has
Yeah,
a new
well, I
girlfriend.
I think your odds with John are pretty small.
He keeps losing women left and right. He's had some real unfortunate incidents, and now he's on number 4.
Hmm.
But in any case,
Where is he down in Texas?
yeah,
Is he in
he's in
Texas?
Bourne, Texas, right outside of San Diego. I mean,
Okay.
San Antonio, I said. I meant.
Okay. How did he end up there? Do you know?
Yeah, Joyce's second wife was from that area and wanted to go back after he sold the gas stations. He had 2 of them up in Stanford. And so he ended up there and built a house, and then she developed cancer and unfortunately passed away.
Was Ron from New Jersey?
Yeah, Ron was from Bergen County,
Okay. Okay.
Camden. He came out of Camden originally. And then his father was a vice president for Research Institute of America, and they ended up in Stamford, Connecticut.
Who was
Okay.
that? Who was that?
Herzog.
Ron Herzog.
Yep.
And his mother just passed away. She was 103.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's gonna live a while. He's not.
Yeah, so
deaf.
let's hope he got her genes, huh?
At least her shorts, anyway.
Yeah.
I want my mother's genes. She lived until she was 90. My father passed away at 64, so I want my mother's genes. So
Yeah, of course you do. But
I don't care how long I live, as long as I'm
you're not exactly
mobile
64.
and doing what I want to do.
You're not 64 anymore, Sam.
I know. I beat that by 10 plus years. So
We'll have to get you out on a bicycle with me, and we'll have to ride a little.
as long as we keep slow, you wear me out on when you put your chips up there and you go 28 miles and you go, holy shit, I get out there and I go, oh, I've done 10 miles, and I go, oh, that's all I can do.
Nah, you can keep going. I don't ride fast anymore. The body doesn't like it, but I'm still riding.
I still ride too, but I also a couple of years ago I got an electric bike too. So, but I don't use it that much.
I've never had one of those, and I thought about it, but I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
Keep going as long as you can on a manual. So,
Yeah, I'll keep going as long as I can.
When I'm on my motorcycle and I pull up next to a guy that is doing this stuff, I ask him if he needs a pint of fuel. Get that thing moving.
I like it.
I
Oh,
just,
good.
no, I couldn't do that.
I couldn't.
I'm still running my shopping cart back and forth for my wife.
Well, you work, Fran, you work hard. I mean, I'm sure that's hard work that you do. I've never done hard work. I've been lucky.
Well, you know, like I says, it's routine now. Is it hard work? I guess if you stood off in a distance and looked at it, you'd say that is real hard work, but it's routine and you don't,
Yeah.
you know, it's the same thing as you riding the bike. It's routine now for you.
It's
And
something
you
that
really don't, you know, think of it as being a great thing.
Okay,
It's kind of funny when you say hard work though, because I when they were rebuilding the highway after Sandy down at the beach, there was this woman running a front end loader, and I'm going, and she was good. She was really good at it. And I'm going, hey, if she can, if you know, as long as you can do the job, it's fine. You know, you don't have to be a big bruiser to operate that stuff. But, you know, they got the power assist for all that stuff now.
Hey, Sam, move your thumb.
Sorry. Where's the camera? I don't even know where the damn camera is.
Well, I don't know where yours is.
I thought it was in the top. I guess. Oh, okay. Maybe that is the top. Yeah.
well, your thumb is not near it right now, Sam.
Okay. All right.
We can see your beautiful face right now.
You know who my tech? You know who my tech is? My
No.
grandson. My grandson's my
Mark.
tech.
Morris,
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
I have a question to ask you.
Go ahead.
It kind of serves me in my mind that didn't it one time you have a motorcycle and hit a badger?
Yeah, I probably did. I had 3 motorcycle accidents. One coming down the Wildcat Hills with a girl named Connie on behind me, and the brakes went out. And
On
one
the bike or on
hit an
you?
animal, and then one that a semi truck hit me.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
And
Lucky
you
you're
didn't
alive.
learn by that?
Yeah, I was very lucky on that one. I was on my way to buy a new motorcycle. I had a 52, Harley Fat Boy, and with the gear shift on the tank.
Oh, wow. That's an oldie but a goodie.
I had a guy on behind me, friend on behind me, and we were coming up to Highway 30, and there was a high curb on the left side and a line of cars on the right side. And the car, no lights or anything. The trucks and everybody go by there 70, 80 miles an hour. And the clutch was down where your foot was instead of on the handlebars, and the pinion that held it like this broke off. And so I tried to get it out of third back into neutral, went past that into first, kept lugging ahead, tried to get it in neutral again, went past that, went into second. I saw the truck coming, and I told the guy on behind me to jump. And I stayed on it trying to get it into neutral so I could stop it. And finally, I jumped up and let it go out from under me. And while I was in the air, the rear tandem wheels of the semi went right over the top of the bike.
Oh,
And I came down in the middle of the highway and sat there for a little bit and said to myself, I better get up before I get hit. Stood up, and I had on white jeans, and they were all bloody down the side where I guess the tire of the motorcycle had sprayed me. But other than that, I was fine.
You're
Motorcycle.
lucky you're alive. You're lucky you weren't under the tires of the semi.
Yeah.
Well, you figure, okay, I have a Honda Goldwing, which is a
Yeah.
big motorcycle. That's 950 pounds.
Yeah.
They don't look it, but those things are heavy.
Wow.
And you figure if you're 200 pounds or 180 or whatever, you're talking 1,100 pounds.
Yeah.
You're about a third of a car or more.
Yeah.
Cars
Except
weigh
you have the
what?
car's protection around you.
Yeah,
No
with
protection.
very little. And so you really got to keep your mind on what you're doing.
I could only imagine. And
Yeah.
sometimes cars today, they don't always pay attention.
No,
No,
they didn't then either.
There's more distraction today than there was then, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, at Hiram Scott, you could rent those Honda 50s.
Oh,
50,
yeah.
oh yeah,
And that was what I had rented to go with Connie up to the top of the Wildcats and coming down with the two of us on that Honda 50cc motorcycle with the brakes just said, no, I give up. But I got it to the bottom.
I didn't remember that you could, I never did any of that.
Yeah,
I wrote, remember Squeaky Mouse? What was his real name? Oh, God.
I don't know.
I called him Mouse, and sometimes he went by Squeaky. He had a motorcycle, and I never rode a motorcycle, so he gave it to me, and I was riding around Hiram Scott's parking lot. He just forgot to show me where the brakes were.
Oh, Jesus.
I ended up in the field, with all those sticker things, when I went down, and those things were all over me.
Yeah,
He hurt.
Herzog thought that was pretty funny.
if you were watching it, it probably was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And
Yeah,
look, we're all lucky, we all had some close scrapes, and we're lucky we're still here.
yep.
That's true. That's true.
We all had our own stuff going on, and
Yeah, my father died at 48, 1 week into that.
wow.
My mother died at 97, so
Wow.
my grandmother died at 101.
Wow.
So where am I gonna be? 85 would be good.
There you go.
No,
As long as you got your health. As long as you got your health.
Gary,
Yeah.
the closer you get to 85, the younger it's gonna look.
Which would you rather lose, your health or your mind?
Oh, God.
Wow.
my mind. I'd rather lose my mind. I
Yeah.
won't know I'm old then.
I'd rather lose my health than my mind.
Not my health. No, I don't want to lose my health.
I got a brother.
I don't want either of them.
I got a brother with Alzheimer's down in Maryland.
Yep.
My mother had it, and 3 of her sisters had it, and not a good thing.
No.
No. I can't think of it.
I'm a caregiver for my cousin and the older one. Barry was 9 months younger than I am. But this one is 85 years old. And she has dementia, congestive heart failure, bad valves in her heart, pacemaker. I could go on with more.
Yep.
And that's no way to live.
No.
Way to live.
I was with a dear friend who died recently in the last 6 months, and he woke up one morning and said, "Shit, I'm still alive." It's no way to live. He
No.
was having heart failure also and couldn't walk anymore, and couldn't get to the bathroom.
Yeah,
He was incontinent. That's got to be horrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for the people that are taking care of you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that that's true. I remember carrying my father in my arms down in Florida. I mean, he had pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
And he was wasting away to nothing. And there's no good way to die.
Yeah. Yeah. Although New Jersey has just passed a law. Sam, I don't know if you know this, but New Jersey's passed a law that you can now do human composting.
I read that. I
Yep.
read something about that. I didn't realize it was New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, that means my wife will plant me in the back of the house down there then.
Yeah.
Does anybody like tomatoes? If you do, let me know. I'll come down and take a little bit of you.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, listen, I gotta go. It's been more than a pleasure talking with you
All right.
guys.
Fran,
Hey,
thanks.
take care.
Stop it again if you're in the area.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
I'll do the best I can.
Take
All
care.
right.
I'm gonna
Take care.
get going also.
Okay,
I'm
let me
gonna
know,
be
let me know
leaving
when
too.
let me know when the next meeting's gonna be, and if
Absolutely.
the tide don't come in, I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
Okay.
Look forward
Okay,
to it.
guys, take
Yeah,
care.
I'm gonna be stepping off too.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
All right, Gary, take care.
All
Be
right.
safe.
Take care,
Take care,
everybody.
guys.
Have a good month.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam, let me know next time you come down this way, and
Okay.
if it works
Probably-
out, we'll have lunch.
Probably not any time. I'm coming down this weekend, but I'm coming right back.